I think I first saw Jessie Buckley in Kaufman's movie. I'm Thinking of Ending Things. And I thought she was phenomenal. And I was like, wow, who is that? And I had seen the trailer for this picture, but I hadn't seen it. And just every time I see her,
her range in this movie.
No, I can't pull my eyes off her, and she's on screen. She just has her control of her facial expressions and the control of her performance is just unreal.
She and the guy who plays Johnny are just both amazingly great. They're so good.
Yeah, she was amazing in this film in every respect. And the fact that screaming stuff she does, I'd never seen her do that before, and it actually kind of scared me a little bit.
But I heard somebody describe like the best movie stars are human beings that know exactly what every single muscle in their face does and looks like.
Yes.
And she's got that for sure.
Yeah.
So she does a lot, communicates a lot with very, very little. And then you'll get the screaming thing.
Yeah, she can go
like out of nowhere.
Yeah. Well, you see a lot of people go, in terms of acting, people who try to go big like that and they either fall short or it's the only thing they do and that they don't know how to be small.
Al Pacino.
Right. Here you have exactly what Chris just said. Here you have someone who can do both, and they're both so good and powerful.
So I kind of want to have a second here, just because this movie is something that I don't see very much, and it's unfortunate because I feel like this movie is less than the sum of its parts. I think the parts of a really great movie are here. The acting is phenomenal. It is very well shot. The script is pretty good. It's set in a place that is foreign without being foreign. Like you don't see movies that are set on the Channel Islands. You don't think about that kind of culture. You definitely don't think about the Channel Islands as having rich people either. Like you definitely think of those as being working class. There's so many farms. It's a lot of immigrants, stuff like that. Like everything about this movie is set up for success, and I feel like it trips at a certain point, and it might be pacing. It might be the way that the movie's paced. I had a really hard time when I was watching it because it was like, I feel like I'm watching a better movie than what I'm actually watching. Like I never really engaged with it on any sort of deeper level other than just sort of observing it.
Okay, I got the next quarter on this one. I'm actually backing him up. I think that this felt like if somebody was making a parody of an A24 movie, says you're going to have your main character have these weird flaws that somehow work out well at the end, who's pretty well off in this very strange place with a maybe not murder mystery going on that you can figure out. That feels very much like every freaking independent film I've seen in the last 10 years. There was nothing unique about it. I loved her performance. I defend her performance.
Both of them are excellent.
Yeah, both of them are excellent. But there was nothing there. I thought there was nothing to this movie.
I wouldn't go that far.
I'm going that far.
No, I mean, at times I'm thinking about Badlands a little bit. Terrence Malick's Badlands. At times I'm thinking, I don't know, weirdly, the episode of Dexter I just watched with my wife prior to coming here, where it's like, it takes you a while to kind of figure, okay, where are you guys going with this?
Yeah.
And then you get there and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's the A24 spell, right? Or the neon.
They're both murderers, and she decides at the end, he's less than.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And I think this movie has a bit of a hypnotic quality, and I did get sucked into it. And I think perhaps it is because of the acting and the beautiful cinematography, but also I didn't know where this movie was going to go, so I enjoyed that.
Yeah, but I didn't care where it went.
It had,
that's my point too.
Yeah.
Wow.
I kept having flashes to I don't know if you've ever seen it, Broadchurch, which is a police procedural.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's
my
great.
wife's a huge Broadchurch fan. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, because you're in that small community where everybody sort of knows.
And you're on the beach. You're on the beach.
Yeah, and you're on the beach, Jurassic Cliffs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
there's been a murder on the quay.
Wallander. It's very Wallander, except Wallander continues on because of how bleak it is. And I don't feel like this movie is quite bleak enough for the story it's telling.
I don't know.
You sort of have to look at this movie too this is sort of a coming of age movie or a finding out who you are movie, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Or accepting, at least accepting who you are.
Yeah.
She's accepting her craziness.
The murder shit.
Right. Like the murder,
come out of her shell and get like a spine and like start to rebel against her horrible family. Like I enjoyed all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I thought the portrayal of the mother was quite good. Like
she was pretty chilling.
Yeah.
I guess it's because I had just seen The Swimmer, but
it felt like a trope again. The whole like, person from a wealthy family who rebels against the wealthy family, and it's just nothing. There was nothing unique being said, I thought.
No, I get what you're saying. Jim, could you finish that sentence again that you just said? Something Jim, about the swimmer.
It's because I watched these two movies rather close together.
Oh,
and I kept expecting, until you sort of figure it out halfway through or 3/4 of the way through, I was thinking that perhaps she was as delusional as
Burt Lancaster.
Burt Lancaster's character.
Kind of is.
And she was kind of.
Yeah.
Because, she has the whole thing about she tells the story of stabbing the girl with the scissors like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
And then when you actually meet the victim,
yeah,
it's like, whoa.
That was a neat scene, I have to admit.
Yeah.
She's not delusional, though.
Putting that scene in there was awesome.
Right.
Right. She's lying.
She's
it's
lying.
More
she's spinning it.
But she might be in denial inside at the first part of the film.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. But she's not by the time you get to the second act.
No, I want to defend this movie a little bit because I think I liked it better than most of you guys.
So far,
I liked it.
I mean, it's got so much going for it. We already talked about the performances and the photography and the location. I think
pretty good.
I get the comparisons with A24. I get the comparisons with Broadchurch and any BBC mystery of this ilk. But what I think is, I think that murder mystery is about 25% of this. You know what I mean? It's not.
Yeah.
It's not the main thing is her and her face and her way of engaging with the world. And you, at the beginning, you're completely sympathetic. And by the way, I love the first act because it's basically the birthday party scene is 4 minutes, and you know everything you need to know about her in that scene. It's like her birthday party. She's hanging out at the edge. The guy who likes her that she doesn't like back gives her the thing. And then it's like her sister announces that she's pregnant with twins. And it's like, oh,
totally hijacks the party.
Go get the champagne. Her mother tells her to go get the champagne. It's her fucking birthday party.
And then she self-harms.
And then she self-harms. Yeah, it's like, okay, I got it. 4 minutes. 4 minutes. I got it.
Okay.
I love that.
But that's a problem. It's like it's kind of like it's pulling things out like a Rolodex.
It's diagrammatic for you.
Here's your Rolodex of your the neon films A24 character. Bing, 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 bing. It's just nothing surprising.
I still thought it was compelling because of the performance and
that's the thing.
And the uncertainty, the ambiguity of the title. It's like you meet Johnny and you think, okay, he's the beast. He's suspected of murder. And by the end of the movie, it's like, fuck, no, she's the beast.
Right. She's been the beast this whole fucking time.
She's been the beast the whole time. When you see her, when they finally have sex in the woods, which is a great fucking scene, mainly because of what they cut to right afterwards, which is her sitting on the couch.
With all
the dirt.
The dirty fingernails.
Her fingernails on the sound.
Yeah.
Well, that's when I thought she had killed the girls.
Right. At that point, I was thinking, or shortly after that, I'm like,
the movie would be better if that's what happened.
Did it, man?
No, he killed the girls. Come on.
Well, he admits
would have been better if that's what happened.
But I like that too.
He only said it out of love.
I like that he admits to it, though. I think a lot of movies wouldn't have gone there either.
Right. But it's great that he's the murderer and he's not the scariest person in the movie because
this is a great fucking way. This is a great fucking way to introduce a character.
Yes.
By the way.
Yeah.
Like
he comes over for dinner and they're sitting there and the brother says, you got to watch out for her. She's a wild one.
Mm-hmm. Also, how much rabbit killing do you have
to that's not
that movie. How much rabbit
foreshadowing.
you have to watch in this show? That's like so much rabbit killing in our shows.
Well, a lot of big
About the
rabbits.
rich.
I felt kind of bad for the rabbits after a while.
Yelling about movies, official policy is that rabbits are food, not pets.
Okay,
Moving
got
on.
it. Thank you.
Rabbits must be destroyed.
I'm going to mail you all rabbits.
Fatal
so we'll all
Attraction
have-
next.
You should see that movie about the Australian rabbit fence and the
A rabbit-proof fence.
No, we should do
that's a
Watership
good
Down
film.
as our next
I
movie.
saw that.
I don't want to watch Watership Down. It's bad.
It's sad, right? If I remember right.
It's crazy, actually. But it's,
I mean, how many
unfortunately,
dead rabbits?
It's
do
the
you wanna see?
70s, so the
'Cause
animation
it's a
wasn't very
lot.
good.
Grim as
Yeah.
hell.
But yeah, every time that I see that scene behind Chris, is just like, holy shit.
Oh,
Well, what about the scene behind me? I was so nervous because you had no idea what he was going to do.
I
Got
thought
her
they
up
were
on
going
that
to go
cliff.
over the edge. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, those are the moments that made this movie work for me. It was just the danger, the feeling of danger, and the physicality of this thing is really palpable.
And the electricity that the electricity that those two have, the actors, it's the chemistry.
Well, I mean, look, she goes not even the chemistry, just her. It's like she feels too much. She goes and lays in the grave and tries to bury herself. You know what I mean? It's just
Speaking of electricity, the part where they're doing the interview and the lights go out.
Yeah.
I had a moment where I was like,
fun.
oh, is this a Thelma? And then it
Yeah.
wasn't a Thelma.
Yeah.
And I was so sad that it wasn't a Thelma.
There's only one film.
But Tad, I'm going to pick up on. So there was a couple of moments in this movie where it was either a sound effect, a music cue, that scene with the lights dim, that entire scene where she goes to visit the cop who gave her the pin.
Yeah.
Where it's like the movie kind of dangles menace, flash, something, and then it's like these are all misdirections.
Yeah, it's almost like a Lynchian supernatural feel to it. Something
Like if you actually think about the scene with the cop where he talks about that they've actually the other guy made a mistake and his DNA is all over the dead girls. I'm thinking, well, wait a minute. Then how is it fucking possible? They nailed the guy.
He had a date with her before the other guy murdered her.
I didn't pick up on it the first time I saw it, but
And she was loose, they said.
you know the scene where, I mean, they show you actually, and I didn't even pick up on it, but the scene where all those guys are breaking into her house and she's running around.
Oh, the dream sequence, yeah.
Right. And then it's her.
Yeah.
She's choking herself, or she's choking her, and then she's choking one of the victims, right? And it's like, I don't know. I mean, right there, they're telling you that
So
she.
I normally like the tales told by an unreliable narrator, but she's not. They don't really set her up as the narrator of this.
No.
I don't know. Kind
From
of.
the outside looking in. I don't know. There were a couple
No,
of times
it's an omniscient narrator.
What Jim said, if you're outside looking in and you're kind of trying to judge her and everybody else in this film as you go along, because it's just all clues. You know, you're just kind of like you're trying to you have to piece together everyone's mental space as you go along.
And I mean, most mysteries these days have to do with misdirection because everybody's so hip to all the tropes.
Right.
The butler did do it though, right?
Yeah, that's true. You have to.
It was the chauffeur in the.
Oh, damn, that's good. See, I would never figure that out.
There is some very good writing in this, though. Like, for instance, after I think it's toward the end of the film, and a lot of shit has gone down, and the cop comes to visit her. You know, before she goes and visits him at the end, and they're hugging, and she says, "You know what I can't stand about you?
Smell.
Your smell."
Yeah.
Well,
and it's like
that's
that's
quite important, right?
Right, because what does she say she loves about Johnny?
From what he
And what does the
way he
mother
smells.
say? She says, "I smelled him before I even got close."
Right, implying that he stinks. Right, but I mean, I don't know. I can't think of a more sort of personal, hurtful insult to tell someone.
Yeah. It's not that something you can do anything about.
Maybe it's a Jersey Island thing. Maybe it's like a thing they do on Jersey Island. Everyone smells each other first. You know,
it's pheromone.
That's my theory, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah.
Well, I once had a
smell is the sense that is most closely tied to memory. You can't like fake a smell in your mind the way you can something visual, something auditory.
I have a friend who a long time ago, he was dating a girl and they broke up. And when I saw him after that, I said, "Oh, hey, are you still dating so-and-so?" Because I didn't know. And he said, "No, we broke up." And I said, "Oh, okay. I hope that's a good thing, or, sorry to hear it." And he was like, "I couldn't stand the way she smelled." And I was like, Yeah, and I was like, that may be the most honest thing that anyone's ever said, and also one of the best fucking reasons to break up with someone.
Yeah, right.
And I don't think he told her that, but he told me that, and I was like, you are my fucking hero right now.
There is something deep and pheromonal about men and women that sometimes you meet somebody like that. Yeah, exactly. Some smell gets in your head and you can't get it out. It's really strange. And this kind of talked about that a little bit, which I thought was really clever.
Well, that's kind of the theme of the movie, is that there's this very, very thin veneer of civilization, and then there you have people like her that just can't be contained by it, and him.
Well, she's protected by being rich.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. She's very well off. Although well off in Jersey is pretty basic.
It makes you more simple.
Because Jersey's like a tax haven.
I know.
So it's not part of the UK.
The most
it's a
fascinating
crown colony.
Yeah,
right.
It belongs to the crown.
Yeah, the most fascinating part of this movie was actually researching how Jersey government works.
That was pointed out in dialogue at the little dinner table scene.
Yeah.
When he's like the only one who's actually from there.
Right.
Yeah.
My ancestors were Norman noblemen.
Yeah.
Which were Vikings.
But because it turns out
says they want to go to Norway.
Because of the way it turns out for what's her character's name? Maul. You almost, as horrible as the mother character is, you kind of get why she's keeping such a tight leash on her.
Oh yeah, because I think the mother knows absolutely what she has on her hands.
She knows what she has on her hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, her daughter stabbed some chick in the face in
school,
in
kindergarten, dude.
Yeah,
fourth grade.
Yeah,
to kill a girl. Yeah. No, the mom, and that's the thing, is the mom gives, I think, a pretty chilling performance. But once you realize, it's like, what's the mom supposed to do, right? She's trying to make this woman not a fucking killer.
So again, it kind of comes back to the supernatural girl. What's the movie?
Thelma.
It comes back to Thelma and her dad,
Yeah, pretty
much. He's trying to keep her.
But also remember, though, that she talks about how her mom tried to like beat it out of her too.
Oh yeah.
It's like this doesn't come from nowhere.
Right.
Like there's plenty of psychopaths out in the world who don't kill anyone. Like there's other things that
took like a really weird turn after the husband has his stroke. Or he's got dementia.
He's got dementia or something. Yeah. Well, Tad, you got a point that maybe her mother made her that way to say that.
Oh yeah. That's
didn't make her any better.
They're dangling in front of the audience. Is it nature or nurture?
Right. Oh, come on.
Oh, really?
Come on.
No,
Scott.
come on. It's a trope. It's dumb. It's dumb. It's just
if you remove all the
indie film writing for the sake of indie film writing.
Tropes got to come from somewhere.
I know. I think. Thank you, Jim. Amen. I think that if you, tropes exist for a fucking reason. It's just how you execute them. And if you're saying, that this is
argument too.
If you're saying this is too an obvious execution for you, then that's your take.
But okay, compare and contrast.
Well said.
No, go back to Thelma. That film was like this, but 10,000 times more interesting, because it approached its subject in a unique way, and the mystery was completely unreal. Unreal.
I'm not as deeply opposed to this movie as it seems like Scott is. But I do think we are on similar sides of this conversation,
but not the same side. It's a circle kind of.
Right. Yeah. But I 100% agree with what you just said. Like, again, the fact that my mind wanted it to be a Thelma at certain points during the movie is part of my problem. It was like, I see where you are and I wish you were here.
Yeah.
Like,
to me, that's a strength. To me, that's a strength that they didn't have to go to some supernatural mumbo jumbo. They just made her a scary person who might kill you.
No, but what I'm saying is I wanted it to be a Thelma because I didn't really care about where they were.
Okay.
I see where you are and I wish you were here. Like which to me makes this a better movie to talk about. If I just straight up didn't like this movie, if I didn't like the acting, if I didn't like the way it was shot, et cetera, then this is a boring conversation because it's just fuck this movie. I don't like it.
Right.
It's much more interesting to me that this movie is flawed. Like it again, less than the sum of its parts is not something you come across often in movies. Like you don't. Movies are better than the sum of their parts. They're equal to the sum of their parts. But how often are they actually worse than the sum of their parts? Like that's really interesting.
Yeah, Jessie Buckley saves this film in a lot of ways. I wouldn't have watched it.
Again, I'm going to say both of them. I think
the performances are so good.
Yeah, she obviously is so good. That's why I got through from beginning to end without actually having.
Yeah, you come away talking about her, but I really do think that he holds his own, and
he's good too. But
he's going to be in Operation Mincemeat.
As much.
He's going to be in Operation Mincemeat with Colin Firth, and I'm so fucking interested in that movie.
I saw him. He's actually got a TV show, like a BBC TV show.
He's a singer too, and pretty good.
Oh yeah, he's a real presence.
He's got like a romantic drama show that's kind of cheesy, but I enjoy it.
Yeah, the scruffy young mystery man with the little facial hair and things like that. Again, it's
the dirty fingernails.
I cannot get my head out of the trope thing because
he should have been in a band.
You know what I mean? It's just like I've seen him as that character.
He is in a band in real life.
Yeah, he looks like he's in a band.
Yeah, he looks like he's in a band. Exactly.
Scott, you know what it made me think of? Your objection. Your objection made me think of kind of the things I was saying after I saw The Station Agent. Remember the movie The Station Agent?
I love that movie.
Which, you know what? It's a good movie.
But it's also a typical independent film.
I said this just stinks of indie.
Yes, it did. Of that era. I think it was.
I agree more about that than I agree more about The Station Agent than this one because I liked it too, but I was like, oh yeah, they're checking off a 1990s indie checklist.
Pretty much.
Yes.
That's a good shot, Tad.
Fucking hell! The couple of shots right around here.
Yeah.
I was literally just sitting there like.
Yeah.
Yeah, the camera work in this is amazing.
You're really doing this, aren't you? Like you're really doing this. And I was like, fuck, like this is when I got mad about it not being as good as I wanted it to be. It was just like, oh, this is so well executed. Like
they spent so much
that's that scene, man. So good. So good. And everybody's sort of turning to see what that guy's looking at. Yeah.
You guys have all seen movies where like the last shot in the movie is the one that leaves you in the chair in the theater going, fuck.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Occasionally, yeah.
We all know those, right?
Yeah.
Last scene in 7 or something like
Sicario.
that. Fuck. This should have been like that.
Yeah.
Like, it was just under.
Strangles this guy in the street.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like I like to echo everything Tad said,
but
like,
we're the same
fuck me moment, but it weirdly wasn't.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a I think that's kind of the reaction that everybody's having is that last scene wasn't quite what we wanted.
Like sledgehammer right
because she has to get up, otherwise you think she dies too. Could she back?
Oh, that's even better.
No, but he's there in the street and it's like, oh, he's the rabbit now.
Yeah.
It's not dead.
You could have just had her roll over.
100%. That's why she smashes the rabbit's head with the fucking rifle.
That's what I wanted her to do.
Later.
Because
maybe it shouldn't have been strangulation. Maybe we're just upset about that.
No.
That was his form of that was his choice of murder. So that's why she did it. But
all of the ingredients were there for that to be way more powerful than it felt to me.
If she'd gone and gotten his rifle and smashed his fucking skull in,
that would have been better.
I probably would like this movie.
That would have been better.
There's a clean connection between that scene with the rabbit and the end because
absolutely.
She saw him as suffering from an illness and she wanted to put him out of his misery.
She has the same illness.
Yeah, well, she has the same illness, but at least she had enough of her agency to be able to end someone else's illness.
She chokes him, and then she rolls over on her back on the street, and the camera is bird's eye view down, starts really close on her face, and she just kind of smiles, and we pull up really slow.
We're remaking the ending now.
Justice is served.
It's so well shot. This movie's so well shot, and it bums me out.
It's beautiful.
I don't know why. I don't know what the thing is that made this as weirdly uninvolving as it was for me, but all the ingredients were there, including her.
Yeah.
No,
they had me at
saying what I'm saying, except All right,
so I guess at the beginning with when she comes out of the dance place with the guy.
Oh, I also love the actress where have we seen? The actress that played
the other guy that
the first guy when she meets what's his name because he shoots at the other guy.
Johnny.
No, he hits him.
They've got all
hits him
those.
with a rock, which is really funny.
Yeah,
That's
he
a
throws
re-
a rock at him.
Yeah.
The
With that rock.
Who's the actress that plays the cop when the lights go out? She's great. We've seen her
Oh,
before.
white hair. She's
Yeah.
great.
Love.
I love that scene.
Oh,
The
She is
sister,
good.
the sister is really good too.
Everybody in my house watches BBC all the time, so I know all these people from BBC dramas.
Yeah,
That's the great thing about about British drama
Yeah.
is you can see these people in everything.
Yeah, they're doing
Yeah.
ITV or BBC dramas all the time. They're
I mean, the
busy
guy
out
who
there.
played the punk in the Young Ones is in like police procedurals and stuff as like.
I mean, Adrian Edmondson. He was in he was in the last Star Wars movie too.
Yes, he was.
And yeah,
Idris Elba did 3 seasons of one of those shows.
Yes, he did.
Like
Isn't that
Luther.
strange?
Yeah, like
I love Luther, even though
loves
it's kind of
Luther.
cheesy.
there's some fucked up shit in Luther.
All right. Well,
man.
you just we're
I just want to give a
Mild
shout out
thumbs
to
up.
the German bunkers and emplacements, because basically that was the only part of the UK that was occupied by the Germans during the war.
There's
Well, they got the
They
Channel
built a
Islands.
huge fucking
There's a great
presence
movie
on
about.
the
There's a
island.
great movie about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in the same way that the Japanese took part of the Aleutians.
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
Same
We're rolling
theory.
off, so let's do thumbs and move on. What do you think?
Like, mild thumbs up.
Oh, way down. Sorry, man. Not,
No, I liked it.
but didn't like it.
I liked it.
I mean,
I liked it
chose
for all the reasons that Scott hated it.
Okay, there you go. I don't mind. I don't mind. It's fine. There's 6 of us. You can oppose me. It's a clock. Remember the circle? No, the fingers in the dial.
You're right. It's right. It's right twice a day.
It's right twice a day and wrong all the rest of the time, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Welcome to yelling about movies. Someone's always wrong.